I mean, I haven't done anything serious. I just had like oral sex. So I'm still a virgin.
Who told you that? Check this out, fam. According to what you just heard, nah, I'm sorry. I don't think you're a virgin when you do that. And here's why. According to the Bible, even Jesus said, a man that looketh upon a woman with lust in his heart, he has committed the sin already in his heart. And he haven't even touched her yet, which means that the sin is not necessarily just the flesh, right? The thing that you have done is not just simply the flesh. You have committed the sin. And virginity is based on purity and cleanliness, right? You've lost that purity. When you commit to a sexual act, there's an exchange in energies. Virginity is when you're whole. It's a wholeness thing. Virginity is not an act, it is a condition. When you are a virgin, you are in the condition of being whole and pure, right? Sexually, this is where we're talking about sex. Once you venture out and you allow someone else to partake and receive physical, not spiritual, because you can't please God unless you're under his headship, right? You can't please God with the flesh. You can only please him with the spirit. And in a situation, unless you're married, you performing sex is not within his will unless it's under his headship. So unless you're married, you performing sex cannot please him. So this is only physical pleasure. And once you perform physical pleasure to another person, which is the temple of God, your body is a temple of God. So you went against his permission. You have committed the sin. You are no longer a virgin. You are no longer pure. You are no longer whole. Right? So I say any kind of alternative sex, oral sex, fellatio, anything outside of what you call it, the missionary position of vaginal sex, anything outside of that, it still counts. You can't get around it. So you have committed the sin against God, and you've also violated your own bodies because it's not within the headship of God. We really need to actually continue to try. And some people may say you may fail. We fail because we're not under one mind. We're not trying to make sure that virginity is not a bad thing. We let the world teach our children. We let the world teach even a lot of these adults of how to act, and then they give excuses on what they've done and think that everything is just excusable to God just because God haven't come, down from heaven and struck the earth, split it in two, and burned us all alive. I mean, look, I'm gonna tell you, young people, virginity is not bad. It's not bad. There's nothing wrong with virginity. As a matter of fact, you are a special kind. It's very hard to find anybody who's a virgin because the world continues to blast us with all kinds of images and sounds, teachings through school, even through the church, that sex is okay, it's acceptable. Hey, nobody's perfect. Oh, that ain't got nothing to do with you staying chaste. That has nothing to do with you going and spreading yourself amongst the rest of the world. God told you not to. That's not the place where you should be. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of scriptures that support that. Even Paul said he wished you stay as he was. Paul wasn't married. But he wants you to do that because as long as it is easier for a virgin to focus all wholly on God than for a non-virgin to, because your mind is gonna trip. Let me tell you something. Hormones override logic almost all the time. So once you start giving in to it, it's very hard to come back and conquer it and overcome it. So that's why a lot of people, once they start with sex, it's like a drug, man. It's hey, you got to have more. You got to keep going. And people start acting crazy just to have it. So understand this. It is a big deal. Losing your virginity is a big deal. It's a big step. Don't be in such a rush to go off and do that. Make sure you do it under the headship of God. Okay? And men and women of God, please stop telling the girls that they're the only ones who's pure and that they're and speaking to them as if they're a treasure and they're precious unto God, as if boys aren't. The males carry the seed. Did you forget that part? The males carry the seed. They're just as precious and special. They're rare. It's a rare thing for a boy and a young girl today. It's a rare thing for them to be virgins because nobody wants to try to even hold people accountable and teach them. We're supposed to teach them the way they should go. Not the way you think they're going to go anyway. You're supposed to try, right? So young men, young women, if you listen to me, it is not bad to be a virgin. Okay? It is not embarrassing. People are going to try to clown you, but that's because they don't understand. And they're mad because they will never get that back. You hold something they can never get back. Ever. So, let's try to keep ourselves in line with the will of God, if you can. Let's all try to help those who are not. Don't try to pressure people into doing something they're not even ready to do, right? So, if you're out there and you're thinking about doing something, know this is what I say. If it's anything pleasing your body to make you feel good, curiosity, doesn't matter, anything that can be considered as sexual, just go ahead and count it as it is sex. And if it is, once you perform it, you are no longer a virgin. Right? Nobody's going to hate you, but I would prefer that you stay a virgin as long as possible until you're ready to be married. And whatever virginity you're going to give to the one who's going to be with you for the rest of your life. That's my opinion on the threshold. I bid you a good night, good day, whatever it is for you. Peace be unto you and be blessed.